What's good? What is up? Good day, YouTube.
Another one.
The cameras are rolling and the fake fire is roaring today. Why are you doing what you're doing right now? He's slowly going to come into frame. Okay. 3. And that's my cat. I want to thank you guys so much. I am now to 110 subscribers on my channel. I cannot believe it. Oh, that seems very small to some people, but it is so significant to me because this is truly what I want to do. I want to make YouTube videos, I want to talk to you guys, and I want to make you guys happy. Please subscribe if you want to see more of what I'm doing. I have a variety of what I do. I don't do just one kind of channel. Please like if you want to see more, and again, thank you so much for 110 subscribers. I still cannot believe it that there are 110 of you who don't even know me that are out in the world and want to spend 5 minutes of your day just listening to me. Like, that's just insane to me. I've been seeing a lot of conspiracy videos going around YouTube. I know Shane Dawson does it. That's one of my favorite YouTubers. Another big YouTuber that's also doing it is Michelle Platty, and she does a lot of conspiracy videos as well. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I decided to do creepy urban legends, and the reason why I picked this is actually I'm taking a folklore class right now in school, so it kind of ties into what I'm doing in actual life, and I found very creepy urban legends that I think that you guys would enjoy. If you don't like creepy things, I suggest you click off the video right now. Some of them are a little gory. Obviously, I'm not going to show any gore, but I just want to let you guys know if you aren't a fan of that, I highly suggest you don't watch this video. But if you are a creepy freak like me, then I suggest you watch this video. First urban legend I'm going to tell you about it's called Bunnyman Bridge. And it takes place in Clifton, Virginia. In the 1900s, basically, there was an asylum. Had patients and some convicts even there. After the Civil War, everyone started to, you know, make towns, and one was very close to this asylum. A lot of people didn't feel comfortable with this asylum there because there's convicts and there's patients, and not a lot of people wanted it there. They felt like it was endangering their own family, so they signed a petition that basically said that this asylum would relocate to Lorton. During the drive of the relocation, all the convicts, all the patients kind of boarded onto this one bus. While they were driving to go to the new location in Lorton, the bus driver had swerved and crashed the vehicle. It toppled over, and all the convicts, all the patients had basically escaped this bus. Basically, 4 months. Why are you driving by? I'm trying to do a fucking video. After 4 months, basically everyone had been found except 2 men. That was Marcus A. Walter and Douglas J. Griffin. It was then that police had found half-eaten rabbits. There was decapitated rabbits, rabbits ripped limb from limb, just basically a very gruesome scene. And then this was near the bridge and near the road that the crash happened. Found Marcus dead holding a man-made weapon that had blood on it. And so obviously Douglas was still out there. So the police were still trying to find Douglas, and because they were finding all these dismembered rabbits everywhere, they decided to call him the Bunnyman. Near the bridge, so they started to call it the Bunnyman Bridge. They still to this day have never found Douglas. There have been stories of teenagers going to the Bunnyman Bridge on Halloween, and right when it strikes midnight, a big light will come from the bridge, and basically they will die a very gruesome death. There had been teens that were run over. There had been a woman who was hung on the bridge so close to the road that if a car went by, her feet would just barely touch the car. I know that's so gruesome to think about. And then the last account, the most recent account, was in 1987, and it was by a woman named Janet who went again on Halloween to see if the myth was true with 4 of her friends, and they waited and waited and nothing happened. Finally, once midnight hits, Janet was standing right near the bridge, and she literally saw her flesh tear from her chest as she was standing there. Bunnyman Bridge is actually very close to where I live, so give this video a thumbs up if you want me to go there, if you want me to die. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that video. Like I had said before, Shane Dawson does a lot of like haunted conspiracy theory videos, and sometimes he goes to the locations. So give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know if you want me to go. I would be totally down to go, just not on Halloween. We'll film the whole experience and see if the myth is actually true. This next urban legend is my absolute favorite. I have been wanting to do a short film on it for so long now. There has been a couple of videos made, however, this is just such a creepy urban legend just because it could happen, and I think that's what makes urban legends so creepy, is that they are told as supposedly true in a era that is very close to us. The second one is the Smiling Man. Again, this is my absolute favorite one. Basically, this guy posted on Reddit. He's walking in a deserted street in Seattle at nighttime, and as he was walking, he saw a man who looked like he was dancing on the sidewalk. He just assumed that this man was drunk because it was at nighttime and he was dancing in the middle of the night. And then it wasn't until the man got close to this drunk man that he saw his face. And the presumably drunk man had very wide, unfocused eyes just staring up into the sky, and he had a cartoon-like grin stretching across his whole face, and it almost looked painful. And every time that the man would look back at the Smiling Man, he would just be on opposite sides of the sidewalks from where he was before. The Smiling Man would come to a complete stop, just still staring and smiling into the sky and not doing anything. And the man kept switching side to side, so he just wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to do anything. But when he did this, the Smiling Man took very creepy cartoon-like tippy-toe steps towards him. And then started to dart towards him. After a long chase, the man finally made it to a well-lit road, and the Smiling Man vanished. Say that he is still out there and still walks the sidewalks, just staring up to the sky, smiling, and follows you. Number 3 is a very creepy, gory urban legend. I actually had just heard of this the other day, and it's the Sleepless Men. Basically, in 2010, a rumor had surfaced around the internet that in 1940s there was a Soviet experiment that basically took 5 men and gave them a drug stimulant that would keep them awake so they could never sleep. And this went on for days and days and days, and they kept the 5 men in the same room and basically just sat and watched. And their health came to a slow decline. Days and days went by, and they would just begin to scream. And the screams would get louder and louder until one day, one man screamed so hard that his literal vocal cords tore. And then after this, the men went silent. Scientists were obviously scared to see what happened because the men had fell silent, and they were right. Once they walked into the room, 1 man eaten and 4 completely butchered. After they ate the 1 man, all 4 of them went against each other, and there were fingers and skin and limbs just all around the room, and it was complete carnage. I know that one's extremely gory and gross to think about. After this rumor surfaced, it was proven to be untrue, but it's still a very scary and creepy thing that could happen. You don't know what you are capable of doing when you're sleep deprived for days and weeks. Number 4 is a little dark. It is the Disney suicides. So in 1999, the Small World ride in Disneyland shut down midday. Everyone was taken off, the music was shut off, the ride was stopped, and the lights came on. All the employees walked everyone out, and they told everyone very vague statements of why they were shutting it down. It was mechanical, it was this and that, whatever. So no one really knew what was happening, and one of the tourists that was on the ride had her camera with her, and as she was leaving and as she was being evacuated, she was taking pictures, and she snapped this picture. And what is shown is supposedly a kid hanging, and it says that this kid hanged himself as everyone was blissfully on the ride and all happy. I don't believe this picture. It honestly looks like a doll up there, and if this was the case, it would be all over the news. This was proven to be untrue very early on. But this isn't the scariest thing that has happened at Disneyland and Disney World. There has been a lot of true stories. Disneyland and Disney World, you know, housing these horrible acts. And the final urban legend is called the Man Who Spoke to God. Basically, in 1983, a group of religious scientists, I know, oxymoron, a theory that any human brain would be able to sense the presence of God. So what they did was picked an old man with a terminal illness and sealed off his nerve endings. So he had no reactions, and he was basically just laying there in the bed, dying. For a couple of days, the man just whispered basically gibberish, things that no one really understood. And by the 4th day, he claimed to hear distant voices. And by the 6th, he heard the voice of his late wife. And his wife began to speak to him, and he would repeat what she said, and it would just go on from there. And as days passed, the voices of the dead were beginning to become louder and more hostile, and they were telling him things that no human should ever hear, ever. And they started mocking the man and shrieking at him, and he started to scream no heaven, no forgiveness over and over again. That there's no God, and that God had abandoned us, and yeah. Again, this one is proven to be untrue. However, it's a freaky thing to think about. Just a man who only has his head and can't really do anything because scientists basically poke and prod at humans. Fucking creepy. It was very creepy. Hopefully you are not watching this at night, in the dark, whatever. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for getting me to 110 subscribers. I hope I get more, and I hope I just keep making this family grow and grow and grow and grow. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I wanted to hold palaver on you stream with Black Gallagher, float down the river when I couldn't paddle much further. Ricky Steamboat got up on a 2 count after a stone cold stunner, heard the theme music, said oh boy that's a real bummer.